My name is Neal Zikri. I'm in 12th grade and I go to Don Soper Aventura High School.
Awesome. Thank you. So, what happened that made you realize that you needed our service?
So I was doing SAT tutoring since November to June, and honestly, I went up 20 points and with countless hours of tutoring. So, it was the end of my junior year and not much improvement. And, living in Florida, the score really has a big impact on what colleges you get into. And we had a girl in our school who was using your service. And we all hear what she's telling us. So a group of us were all skeptical, and we're like, okay, we'll wait, we'll see, because she tells us how much work you guys be putting into all of it. So we're like, okay, we'll wait and we'll see. And then she comes out with her insane score, and I was like, I I have to do this too.
I saw. Like, we'll see, we'll see. Okay, now I saw. Like, we're in. That's cool,
Mhm.
man. So, and at that time, you said, okay, you had been okay. So you've been studying for months, and you had taken a few SATs already, or no?
Yeah, I took like 4, 5 SATs. I went up total 20 points.
Oh man, that's brutal.
Yeah.
And why was that going to be? Aside from the fact that you mentioned that you're in Florida. I mean, so is the main issue with you, like, let's say you kept that score you had, like you didn't go up more, um what would have been the biggest issue for you?
Well, honestly, it would have restricted me a lot where I could have gone. And also, I feel like on myself too, I know I could have done better. I know I'm a better student. Getting like a lower score than I expected going into the whole process of SAT, kind of hits a little bit, hits deep at home. So I knew I could do better. And even though I did put in the work, nothing went up. So that's why I really thought.
So you were putting in the work, nothing was like your score wasn't improving. So what do you feel was the issue at that time? Like, what was holding you back then from improving?
I think I was doing the tutoring classes, but honestly, it's just the 1 hour you log in and then that's it. What do you really learn in that hour until the next week they have a meeting? It's like I learn one little lesson, then a whole week I don't talk to anyone, and then I go back and then do it again, and for all I know, I forgot it.
Got
And
you.
nothing sticks.
Right. Like, so it was, yeah, everything, yeah, literally what you said, everything you learned you would forget immediately, so then it was almost as if you never learned it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, because yeah, that is something that I also notice in a lot. It's more, I think it's more normal than people expect, even from
Mm-hmm.
themselves. It's like, trust me, you're gonna learn it today, and if it's the first time you learned it, I promise you, in like 3 days, it's not gonna be there anymore,
Exactly.
and it's normal. Um, so okay, so you felt like maybe you weren't getting enough support outside of class, like they weren't providing you with enough material for you to practice on your own.
Exactly. I felt like it was just like the hour that I paid for, and then regardless to that, it was just kept going about my life. Nothing checking in throughout the week to keep up with what I learned.
Right. And okay, how about in terms of math? What math class were you in?
So last year I was in pre-calculus. And previous to that, I've done all those maths courses and I was doing pretty fine in math. So I never expected myself to have an issue in SAT math, to be honest.
And related to that aspect, right? Do you feel like something? Do you feel like you struggled with the math section, or your struggle with the math section? Do you feel like it had anything to do with the fact that you were in pre-cal, maybe, or something like that?
I think honestly, the fact that I struggled probably had to do something with me struggling in algebra 2 and basics in algebra 1 because I just got unlucky, didn't have the best teacher for algebra 1. And I think that's like the starting stone of your math journey. And when you don't have a strong foundation for algebra 1, then it kind of like topples down every single tower that you have when you move forward in your high school journey in the math.
And the SAT is primarily algebra one, uh, geometry, algebra two. Okay,
Exactly.
so it was more of like a mix of things. It's like you needed to refresh on your foundational concepts.
Mhm.
The tutoring you were doing at the time, like maybe went over, maybe not. I mean, I don't know. But ultimately, whatever you did go over, you couldn't retain it because you didn't have enough
Mhm.
practice. And then like those two together, even though you felt like a competent student in general and even in math pretty good, lets you not doing as well as you wanted to. Is that correct?
Exactly.
On the money. All right. So, okay, then you heard about our program because your friend did it and absolutely killed it. Who was it?
Izzy Potak.
Okay, yes, you did phenomenal. Awesome. So, all right. And then, so then after that, when you were about to join, um, what was your expectation of the virtual group environment?
So I heard a little bit about it. I'm used to the one-on-one tutoring. So I really thought I didn't have too many doubts because I knew it wasn't too big of groups, but still I thought maybe, here I'd be waiting while the tutor addresses someone else, or I just have to be on my phone until my turn comes or until we move on to the next question. But it really wasn't like that. It was a lot engaging, like depending on like you get put in where your level is. So everyone is kind of on the same pace as you. So it's kind of like we're just all going, moving through the questions. And everyone, if honestly, if someone needed help with a question, I did too. I usually needed help when they needed help too. So it was like we didn't really stop more than we needed to. It kind of helped everyone as a whole, regardless of the question.
Nice. Were you I'm assuming you were, when COVID happened, did you end up going online or no?
Yeah.
How was our program similar to that or different?
I'd say it was different. I feel like online was a lot of log into Zoom, get on your phone, and then don't do the assignments or do the assignments, but you don't really pay attention because everything's online. I feel like since you have to print everything out, your camera's on, you have to send your answers right as you finish them. And if you don't send them out, the tutor asks you, hey, what step are you stuck on? And then they move with you through the steps to make sure to check what you got wrong. I think while virtual school is very, laid back, chill, I feel like it's like rigorous, engaging, and it's kind of exactly what you need when you're trying to go up in your score. Because if you do the program, you're committed, you're trying to improve yourself, right? So I think that's exactly what you get.
Right. Okay. So on that note, if somebody were to ask you, how would you describe the service to another student?
Oh, I'm like an advertiser at this point. Like you have students in your program at this point who are recommended by me.
What'd you tell them?
Oh, I show them my score before, I show them my score after. I show them my group chats, I show them the Google Classrooms, I show them like the work that I do, and then I show them the Instagram, I show them other students' score improvements. And I'm like, listen, don't waste your time. Like I went through all of junior year, spent so much money on other tutoring, like so much money that I could have spent literally anywhere else. And then at the end of the day, during my junior year summer, I went in for it, I did it, and then I finished it. Like I told them, don't waste your time, like just do the program. It's what you need.
Nice. Did you tell them about the workload?
Yes, I did.
Was it a lot?
I feel like when I first started, I was okay with it. As I progressed, they got a little more challenging. Which for me, it's like I'm a procrastinator. But I feel like once I got that reality check back in, like the mental check, hey, like you're doing the program, like get into it. I feel like that kind of snapped me out of it. And then I got back into it, but it's ultimately well, that's what helped me get the score. Because while the classes are long and you do learn everything, there's other topics that you don't really need a class for because it's kind of like a really basic refreshers, and it's like short classroom out of class assignments that you do by yourself, and like boom, you're into it. And then when you go into class, it's like they incorporate it into the new things that you're learning. So it's kind of mixes everything perfectly together.
Nice. Yeah, the reality check was I can't forget it. It was a good time. I was like telling you to stay after class. I was like, I gotta talk to this guy. And I mean, I'm
Gosh.
glad because not everyone that I talk to, trust me, you're not the only one. I mean, that's just part of my job, right? It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me talk to them before they start slipping too much. You forget, yeah, you're a little lazy on one thing or another. That's normal human behavior. But that's my job to be like, wait, pause. You were doing really good.
Mhm.
Let's keep that up. And then you were like, yes, sir. And then you
Yeah.
finished. That was good. So
And then coming into the program, my whole like goal, I was like, I want a 700. That's like what my goal was. I really wanted it. I wanted that exact same score. And then when I like doing all the practice tests, the highest I got was like 690. And I was like, I'm gonna go into the SAT, like keep my best thoughts, like go into it. And then, the SAT date came out, and then I didn't get my score yet in the morning because, it depends what time of the day everyone gets differently. So morning, I don't get it. I'm anxious. I'm about to leave for this like seminar thing that I do with an organization. I'm waiting for someone to come pick me up. My mom texts me because when you guys sent a message on the group channel, text me, hey, check if your SAT scores out. I immediately text her. I was like, no, it's not, because usually I'm not used to my scores coming out that way. So I don't know how you guys have those insights on when time scores come out, but I was like, okay, I'll check anyway. A minute later, I check. I'm like running around the living room in circles, yelling. I call my mom. She thinks I'm having a panic attack because I got the 700, which is why I came to the program in the first place. So I got exactly what I wanted.
That's awesome, bro. You manifested it.
Mm-hmm.
What did you start before the program?
I had a 580,
So you went up
120.
120 points. That's what's up. And you manifested. And that was after you had, prior to that, you had done so much stuff that didn't work.
A lot of stuff.
That must have felt great, huh?
Oh, it was a big sigh of relief. It was a Friday. I went into the weekend happy, had a great weekend, super happy with my score. Now, like, knowing I can relax, going into my senior year calm, just how I wanted to.
Thinking about that is that it's crazy that they release the scores on a Friday. Because it's always
Yeah.
like, it's either like the best thing for the kid or the worst. Like going into the weekend and like you don't get your score, it's like, all right, your weekend's done. You get your
No,
score,
exactly.
and you're turning up, like whatever. You're getting, like that's awesome. Well, for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Well, I guess at this point, because you kind of answered this already, but maybe can you go into more details as to what this result has meant for you and what it has enabled you to do now?
Yeah, so honestly, the whole thing just brought me a sense of ease. Like, when you start senior year, all you talk about for the next 6 months are just, are you applying here? Are you applying there? Can I get in here? Can I get in there? I was with my previous score, I was like, okay, like I'm gonna have to go here, I'm gonna have to go there. Like maybe I just shouldn't even apply to like the top tier schools. Honestly, and then going into these applications, like I feel like more proud when people ask me, everyone in school asks you, what's your SAT score? What's your SAT score? I feel like I was just more like confident in myself to be able to say, hey, yeah, I have this score. Like I got a 700. Like I'm applying to like UF. I'm applying to this like school because I'm confident in myself. Like I know that when I'm writing these supplementals, like there's a good chance I'll get in. Like it just brings you a lot of ease, especially in senior year when you really don't want to have to stress over these little things. Well, not little things, but you don't want to stress about these kinds of things when you're like, okay, I just spent the whole year on it and now it's carrying into my next year of school. Like that's annoying. Just being able to have that score, like just really allows you to put your mind on writing what you're passionate about, letting the colleges know what you are, not just having to try to justify why you have a lower score or why they should take you regardless of your score. So it's like you really let you write what you want to write, if that makes sense, because it's like that factor is not really weighing you down anymore.
Well said. Wow. Um, yeah, that was on that was good. I had to pause. I was
Yeah,
like, this guy's spitting facts right now. I was like, all right, man. That I mean, it also made me this is these are the moments that make me love what I do. So I appreciate the kind words and not even kind words. I
of
just
course.
appreciate the reality of like how you're like how relieved you feel.
No, yeah, I mean it. That's actually the truth. Like when I got that score, it's like, wow, I was so happy.
Yeah, so I guess the right thing for me to say is I appreciate you letting me know that and wording it so well. Thank you.
Of course, I try.
All right. Well, um, would you have any advice for students on this journey right now?
I think the most important thing to remember is don't let it overwhelm you because you see all those assignments and you think, great, like now I'm not going to have a life. And honestly, I went into the exact same thing. And honestly, I think I let that affect me a little bit. But if you just really go into it and look at the assignments themselves, you see they're not as bad or as long as you think. Just because you have like 8 assignments, 9 assignments, it doesn't mean every single one takes you an hour and you're wasting all your free time on these assignments. Just go in with it into it with an open mind, try it out, give it your all, and then at the end, you will get the result you want. Like you put in the work for the result. So when you put in the work, you get the score you want. At the end of the day, you're gonna be happy, and that's all you want.
So basically, it's hard work, but it's worth it.
Exactly. Put in the
Yeah,
work, and you get
sometimes,
what you want.
right? Delay gratification. Anyways, it's hard. It's harder when you're in it. I think that's the thing. When you're in the forest, you can't pull out and see. You know what I'm saying? Like uh,
Exactly.
you're kind of blind to it. So it's nice to have someone who's been through it, like yourself, to
Hmm.
let everyone know.
You just have to remember why you're doing it and why you're doing it. Like, what is your goals? And just stay focused on those goals, even though, hey, you put in 2 months of work. Like it's a lot of time, but guess what? 2 months versus 14 months in my case. So what do you
Facts.
prefer?
Yeah, for real. Damn. So what are your plans? What are you applying next?
I already applied to UF, FSU, got into UCF already. Applying to UM, applying to Indiana, the business school, Kelly, applying to NYU, Tulane, Michigan. Um, Honestly, applying to the good in-state schools and all my outside state schools are all reach schools because I have 100% bright futures now. So why would I go outside state if I don't need to?
Facts.
You know,
Straight facts. All right, bro. This was great. Thank you for coming on.
of course.
And keep me posted, bro. I know it's gonna be a while until you get your
Yeah,
acceptances, but I expect a text no matter what.
I got
So we can celebrate again.
you.
All
All
right,
right.
bro.
Peace.
Peace.